Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Patrick Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. High voltage campaigning is underway in India for the Lok Sabha polls. 93 constituencies go to the polls in the third phase on May 7th. India lashes out at Pakistan over remarks that the UN says it harbors a most dubious track record on all aspects. Hamas delegation to visit Egypt soon for further ceasefire talks. Hamas says that it's studying the peace proposal in a positive spirit. The US Defense Secretary calls China's recent actions against Filipino vessels in South China Sea as irresponsible, reiterates the US's Ironclad commitment to the Mutual Defense Treaty with the Philippines. Well, let's get you the latest now on the world's largest democratic election, which is in India. In an unexpected turn of events, the Congress leader from Wayanad, in fact, the Wayanad Member of Parliament, Rahul Gandhi, was announced as the party candidate from Uttar Pradesh's Raebareli seat. Rahul Gandhi is filing his nomination papers on the last day of nominations today. The seat vacated recently by his mother Sonia Gandhi when she moved to the Rajya Sabha. Raebareli has been a traditional family stronghold. Today is the last date for filing of nominations for the seat that will go to the polls on the 20th of May and the fifth phase of the seven-phase general elections. Also, the Gandhi family loyalist Kishori Lal Sharma has filed his nomination papers from Amethi, the seat that Rahul Gandhi had lost to the Union Minister Smriti Irani in 2019. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting West Bengal and Jharkhand to garner support for the BJP candidates. Addressing a public meeting in Bardhaman, Durgapur, West Bengal, Prime Minister said that the Congress's biggest leader will not dare to contest the elections from Amethi for fear of losing and is seeking refuge in Raebareli.
मैंने कहा था इनकी सबसे बड़ी नेता चुनाव लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं करेगी, वो डर के मारे भाग जाएगी और वो भाग करके राजस्थान गई और राजस्थान से राज्यसभा में आई और हुआ भी यही। मैंने पहले ही बता दिया था कि शाहजादे वायनाड में हारने वाले हैं और हार के डर से जैसे ही वायनाड में मतदान समाप्त होगा वो दूसरी सीट खोजने लग जाएंगे और अब दूसरी सीट पर भी उनके सारे चेले चपाटे कह रहे थे अमेठी आएंगे, लेकिन अमेठी से भी इतने डर गए वहां से भागकर अब रायबरेली में खोज रहे हैं रास्ता। ये लोग गुम कर सबको कहते हैं डरो मत, मैं भी आज उन्हें कहता हूं और बड़े जी भर के कहता हूं, अरे डरो मत, भागो मत।
The BJP Kerala State President and the NDA candidate in Wayanad, K. Surendran, has criticized Rahul Gandhi's move to contest in Raebareli.
During election time, what we said, it is true now. Our stand is vindicated. Rahul Gandhi betrayed Wayanad people. He said in Wayanad that Wayanad is my family and my second home is Wayanad. Now he selected Raebareli. This time Wayanad and Raebareli he will lose. definitely Rahul Gandhi will lose in Wayanad and he will not win in Raebareli also.
The third phase of voting in the ongoing general elections will take place on May 7. In this phase, voters across 93 Lok Sabha constituencies in a total of 12 states will and union territories, in fact, will exercise their right to franchise. The election campaigning is at its peak, with top leaders leaving no stone unturned to reach out to the voters. The senior BJP leader and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in Maharashtra. He visited the Mahalakshmi temple in Kolhapur to seek blessings and then offer prayers there as well. Amit Shah is going to hold an election rally or election rallies in Sangli and Ratnagiri in Maharashtra today. Earlier, he had met the party workers in Kolhapur. He discussed election strategies with them. Later, addressing a rally in Chikodi Lok Sabha constituency in Karnataka, Amit Shah slammed the opposition leader Rahul Gandhi for filing nomination papers from Raebareli. And we are now going to join our correspondents. Amritpal Singh is joining us from Mainpuri in Uttar Pradesh, and Akshay Dongre is joining us from Rajgarh in Madhya Pradesh. Thank you, both of you, for being with us. Amritpal, let me start with you. Explain the politics, if you will, behind the last-minute, announcement of Rahul Gandhi, a major candidate of the Congress party, moving to the Raebareli seat.
Mark, the election cell of the Congress, which held a meeting a few days back, about a week back, in that it was clear that the congressmen wanted Rahul Gandhi and, in fact, even Priyanka Gandhi to contest from Raebareli and Amethi, the bastions of the Nehru Gandhi family seats, which they have traditionally been elected from, except that the last time Rahul Gandhi had lost that seat, Raebareli, his mother was the MP for about 20 years. Before that, Rahul's grandmother Indira Gandhi has been an MP. His father Rajiv Gandhi has been an MP from there. His grandfather Feroz Gandhi was the first MP from the Gandhi family from there. So there was considerable pressure from the rank and file of the Congress party that the Gandhi family, if they come and contest from these members of the Gandhi family, if they come and contest from these two seats, it will energize and bringing zeal in the Congress rank and file, and that would lead to political benefits for the Congress. What we hear from sources is that Rahul Gandhi was reluctant for all three members from the same family to go into Parliament. Sonia Gandhi has already been nominated from from Rajasthan into the Rajya Sabha. If the brother-sister duo also contested, the BJP, their main rival at the national level, would step up attacks on it being the whole family into it. So they would have done their calculations and keeping in mind the wishes of the rank and file of the Congress, and also calculated that why Wayanad is important for them in case they do not make it, Rahul Gandhi does not make it from Raebareli. So I think hard-nosed calculations would have gone into it, and that is the reason why they kept mulling over it and decided to field Rahul Gandhi on the last day when the nominations close. Mark.
Yes, let's go across to Akshay now. Akshay, many leaders have been shifting sides before the elections in Madhya Pradesh. Give us a sense, of the political mood in Madhya Pradesh.
Well, Madhya Pradesh, Mark, has always been considered, in fact, at least for the past 3 decades, has been considered a stronghold of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Like if you look at the Bhopal seat, if you look at other constituencies,
Akshay, I'll stop you for a moment because we can't hear you too well. So maybe they'll sort out the sound with you and then we'll come back to you and you can answer that question. But let me turn once again to Amrit. Amrit, how confident then is the Congress of retaining Raebareli and also regaining Amethi, given that the Congress has, all but vanished in the politically sensitive Uttar Pradesh?
एंकर ने बोला नहीं आ रही.
That's right, Mark.
Hello,
when you
hello.
say that
Check 1, 2, 3,
you know, the Congress is not doing politically too well in Uttar Pradesh. Its political currency surely has gone down over the years. Its cadre is demotivated now. But Amethi and Raebareli are essentially Gandhi Nehru families bastions. They have been traditionally contesting and winning from the seats, except for when Rahul lost to Smriti Irani the last time around in 2019 from Amethi. So they would want to use all their political muscle to see that they can secure a win, because it's not just about victory from one seat or adding up one more member to your kitty of MPs, but it is about the signaling, the larger signaling that it sends, that it does if Rahul Gandhi loses, and that would be damaging for the party, and that will be damaging for Rahul Gandhi as an individual if he wants to play a bigger role tomorrow in Indian politics, or has ambitions of playing a larger role within the Congress party. So it is important for them, but it is no secret that the Congress is considerably weakened. In fact, at most seats, let me tell you, it's a contest between the BJP, which continues to remain a dominant force here, and the Samajwadi Party. The Congress in the overall scenario, though the last time around they ended up number 2 after the BJP, but the Congress at most places is pretty weak. So if the Congress has to retain its erstwhile political glory, they need to bring in more zeal and sort of the signaling from the leadership that the party can be led by able leadership. And I think that's the messaging that they're trying to do by putting Rahul Gandhi from the Raebareli seat. Mark.
Let's go back to Akshay, and I hope we have re-established contact with Akshay. Do we have Akshay with us?
Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you don't seem to be on the screen. Yeah, good to see you. Okay, go ahead, Akshay. Tell us a little bit about the political mood in Madhya Pradesh.
Well, Mark, Madhya Pradesh is one state that has always been considered, in fact, at least for the past few decades, has been considered a citadel for the Bharatiya Janata Party. If we look at the previous elections, Lok Sabha elections, then out of 29 seats, BJP had won about 28 seats. In 2014, BJP managed to win 27 out of 29 seats, 2 went to the Congress. And even in 2009, when the Indian National Congress formed the government at the center and the BJP was in opposition, even then BJP had outperformed the Congress party. So Madhya Pradesh, the central Indian state, has been considered a citadel for the Bharatiya Janata Party. This time around as well, the BJP now moving in from 27, then to 28 in 2019. This time around, they are trying to win all the 29 seats. It's easier said than done, because this time around we are seeing tough competition here coming in from the Congress leadership as well, especially if you look at seats like Rajgarh, where we are standing right now. Then Digvijay Singh, former Chief Minister of the state, is contesting against the incumbent member of parliament from this constituency, that is Mr. Rodmal Nagar. He has been an incumbent member of parliament in 2014 and in 2019 as well. So if there is a sort of an anti-incumbency, Mr. Digvijay Singh will be trying to exploit that. Other seats as well, the Congress is trying to make a comeback. However, things are not looking good. As you mentioned, that a lot of defections are taking place, a lot of movement is taking place from the Congress camp to the BJP. We saw a member of parliament, in fact 6th member of parliament, move in from the Shivpur region, the Vijaypur constituency of Madhya Pradesh. Then we saw the candidate who had filed his candidature from the Indore constituency had withdrew his candidature, and then he joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. So a lot of chaos happening in Madhya Pradesh right now. BJP is trying to gather all the seats, all the 29 out of 29 seats, but it seems that Congress party is going to give them a tough competition. But as far as coming on an equal footing is concerned, the Congress is not ready yet. It seems, given the fact that a lot of defections already are taking place just right ahead of the elections, Mark.
Indeed, we are going once again to Amritpal Singh, who is joining us from Uttar Pradesh. Amrit, Rahul Gandhi has filed his nomination papers, as we have seen on the screen. In the larger context, I mean, there's not enough time really for a full-fledged campaign. in Uttar Pradesh. Of course, the Congress is in alliance with the SP in the state. Put into context the larger political battle that's taking place in Uttar Pradesh. After all, the BJP is very dominant in the state right now.
Oh, that's right. The BJP is dominant, and the BJP is dominant for two reasons. One, it is in power in the state, and it has been in power in the center for 10 years. And that's what the BJP leaders have been saying all around their campaigning, what they call the double-engine Sarkar. So they're trying to use that plank of saying that if you want development, vote for us. And they've been saying that the India Alliance, or India as it's called, is a motley group of parties who have gotten together. They're opportunists. They stand at cross purposes. So it's just for elections that they've come together, and they wouldn't be able to give good governance. So therefore, there is no point wasting your vote on them. While both the Congress and the Samajwadi parties plank this time around in Uttar Pradesh, where I am, is that there is misgovernance, that they are accusing the BJP, saying that if they come to power once again, they will tinker with the basic structure of the constitution. They're saying that if you want to live in a cohesive society and believe in the cohesive structure of this country, do not vote for them, for they represent a brand of politics which does not sit well with the vision of the founding fathers of this country. Now it is for the people to decide what they want to do, but clearly what I have sensed on the ground is yes, the BJP is a dominant force. The Congress must perform well if it needs to revive its political fortunes here, and the Samajwadi Party is also trying to find its feet post Mulayam Singh Yadav, who was the tallest leader. Now Akhilesh Yadav, if within the Samajwadi Party, has to secure his place, though it's a family-run party, he is the party supremo, but if he has to secure his place within the party, and second, he has to remain relevant within Uttar Pradesh politics, he badly needs to show some performance here and get some seats here. Mark.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Amritpal Singh and Akshay Dongre, for joining us at this time. Now, the Dibrugarh Lok Sabha constituency in Assam is poised for a three-way contest in the upcoming general elections. The electorate of Dibrugarh will cast their votes on the 7th of May to determine the outcome of this triangular contest. With this report from our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya, we get to know what's happening. Assam's Dibrugarh constituency has witnessed numerous transitions, from Congress stronghold to the emergence of the AIUDF under the leadership of Badruddin Ajmal. The constituency has seen power ebb and flow through the hands of political titans. At the centre of this electoral theatre stands Badruddin Ajmal, a figure synonymous with both political prowess and controversy.
Whatever development has happened here, it was done by the Narendra Modi government. The Chief Minister also played a role in this. An international port was also developed here. The BJP government also reopened the closed airport here.
In the upcoming elections, Dibrugarh finds itself at a crossroads, torn between its historical affiliations and the winds of change blowing through its demography. With a majority Muslim population, the constituency's dynamics are shaped by the delicate interplay of identity politics and socio-economic aspirations.
Every human being who live in Dibrugarh, they are going to outside city to work. And in Dibrugarh, the major problem is that we have industry, but it will be closed, mass factory. It will only taken by ITC. Mainly, we want the factory should be restarted, and if it is restarted, then the maximum unemployment problem in Dibrugarh, it will be solved. And second one is Rupshi Airport, which has been on now because flight is not smoothly running.
Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi took on AIUDF Supremo Badruddin Ajmal on his home turf Dibrugarh to campaign for the Congress's Rakibul Hussain, who's the tallest minority leader in the state Congress. AGP, a constituent of the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance in Assam, is contesting from Dhubri, one of Assam's 3 Muslim-majority Lok Sabha seats, and Barpeta as part of the alliance. The going won't be easy for the AGP's Javed Islam.
The common public here has 2 main problems, education and development. The reason that the sitting MP did not do anything, development work here.
The BJP is contesting 11 out of 14 seats in Assam, while its ally AGP is contesting 2 seats, Barpeta and Dhubri.
Amidst the political maneuvering and electoral rhetoric, the voices of Dhubri's electorate resonate with hopes and aspiration for a better future. For every voter, the stakes are high as they cast their ballot in a contest that will shape the destiny of their constituency. With Campus and Naveen, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from Dhubri, Assam.
Well, with an electorate of a little more than 1 million and a total of 16 candidates from 6 parties in the fray, the ruling BJP and the Congress remain the major parties in the Goan landscape. Jessica Taneja reports.
Union Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Tourism, Shripad Nayak, aims to secure a 6th successive term by winning the North Goa parliamentary seat once again.
The development is visible all over Goa. Anti-incumbency is not an issue in Goa. We have always worked for the development of Goa and its people. The state and the central government are working on the development of the place. We will continue to work like this in the future as well.
From the need for better infrastructure such as roads, bridges and transportation facilities to the importance of tourism development that balances growth with environmental conservation, the residents of Kalangut are clear about what they want for their region.
It's the main issue in Kalangut is the electricity, because there are frequent electricity cuts over here and there is no 24 hours water supply for everybody. So that is the main concern. Lots of improvement is done, like the roads, even the bridges are built over here. Development wise, the constituency has done very good.
However, the opposition feels that the ruling dispensation has done nothing for the youth and preserving land resources has become a pressing need.
First of all is jobs, they say, educational facilities, and then they say, suppose we go abroad, we go all over India and we want to come back and settle here. We want to have our own little hut, small place. Will there any land be left?
For many decades, the North Goa constituency has been home to the Shanta Durga temple and the Khuris chapel, which coexist in harmony. This unique coexistence hasn't altered the complex electoral landscape of the region.
There's a chapel here, there's a temple here, and we get along like brothers. There's a Hindu family there who have been celebrating the novenas. They sit inside, pray rosary. So we have very good harmony here. And that's the whole ethos of going Karpon.
As the election day dawns, they stand united, ready to cast their votes, knowing that their choices will pave the way for a better tomorrow. Jessica Taneja for DD India.
Well, Britain's opposition Labour Party won a parliamentary seat in northern England on Friday, beating the governing Conservatives in one of a series of votes. Voters in England and Wales cast ballots on Thursday in an array of local elections amounting to the last big test before the UK general election. Labour candidate Chris Webb won the seat with 10,285 votes. The Conservative candidate came second with 3,218 votes. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's Conservatives are around 20 percentage points behind Labour in most opinion polls. The results due throughout Friday and Saturday will offer some insight into whether those polling trends materialize at the ballot box. And DD India's Ollie Barrett now joins us live from London with more on these stories. Ollie, how much of a setback are these results to the ruling Conservatives?
Well, Mark, it's not great, put it that way. You mentioned the by-election in Blackpool South. There was a very large swing in that particular vote away from the Conservatives towards the Labour Party there. And in fact, the Conservatives were nearly beaten by the Reform Party, which wasn't even formed very long ago, and which many Conservatives feel is going to be potentially very challenging for them in the run-up to the next election. You're quite right to say that there are still a lot of votes that we don't yet have the results for, so we don't have a full picture yet, but it is clear that the Labour Party is making gains in a series of important local authority areas in England and Wales, the type of places that they will need to win at a general election if indeed they are to go on and deliver the parliamentary majority that all of the polling suggests at the moment is very likely indeed. Now, the Conservatives will say it's not all bad news. They'll point to particular councils in particular parts of the country, like Harlow in Essex, to take a very specific example, and say that they have won there. They've retained control of local authorities like that one and others, and they will say that that shows that actually they're very much still in with a fight at the next general election. But that is an optimistic viewing of the numbers that are coming in so far. There are still some key races yet to report, so very much depends how those go as well. But it is pretty clear that the Labour Party has made some significant gains in this round of local elections, and the Conservatives have made some significant losses.
Ollie, then is there a chance of a change of guard at 10 Downing Street before the general elections?
There is a chance, and part of that depends on the results that we are still yet to hear from this round of local elections. There are a couple of key mayoral races, one in Tees Valley, one in the West Midlands. If the Conservatives were to lose both of those mayoralties to the Labour Party, that would be potentially very, very difficult indeed for the Prime Minister. It could be the kind of thing that could potentially trigger a leadership campaign against him, a leadership challenge against the Prime Minister to try and remove him from office and put a new leader in place to fight the general election. That said, there are quite a lot of Conservative MPs who privately will tell you that they are absolutely convinced they will lose the next general election, but don't necessarily think that a change of leader will make any difference at this stage, and might even make things worse for them, given all of the chopping and changing at the top of the Conservative Party and the chaos that that has caused in recent years. So Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will hope that the results still yet to come in won't be as bad as has sometimes been feared, that he can hang on to his job for the next week or so. And if he can do that, if the leadership challenge doesn't materialise against him, in one way he'll be strengthened, because it's really the last opportunity now to change leader before a general election. So he would at least be able to fight that remaining months of his tenure at Downing Street leading into the general election, knowing that he is the leader that's going to be on the ballot paper when that general election arrives.
Ollie Barrett from London, thanks very much. Let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. 3 surfers, 2 Australian and 1 American, have been reported missing from Mexico's Baja California, one of the most violent states. The 3 were on vacation surfing in the municipality of Ensenada, about an hour and a half south of the US-Mexico border. 3 people are being investigated in connection with these disappearances. Technicians prepare Brazil's Copacabana beach for Madonna's upcoming open concert scheduled on Saturday. Excited fans gather at the venue to witness the event that will mark the closing of her world tour. Local authorities expect 1 million people to attend this concert. After 50 years of negotiations, 3 museums have returned treasures looted during the British colonial rule in Ghana. The museums are the British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum, and the Fowler Museum at the University of California. The exhibition of the repatriated items also marks the silver jubilee of the Asante king, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, known as Asante Hene. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Under UN sanctions, North Korea can import about 500,000 barrels of refined oil a year, but the US says Russia is exporting more than that cap to North Korea. And Delhi Metro is celebrating its 30th Foundation Day.
Ten states and 1 union territory with 93 constituencies go to vote in Phase 3 of the Lok Sabha elections on May 7. Gujarat, Karnataka and Goa will be under the spotlight as all Lok Sabha seats go to polls. We track the states from the north, west and south in Phase 3 on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India.
E-waste is growing phenomenally in India, and I think it's time that we reconsidered our consumption patterns.
We need to formalize repairs, we need to formalize refurbishments, and by law also they are permitted.
It expands their repair network, the consumer gets benefit because it's cheaper and it's accessible, and the guy is able to make a living.
Government policies and in fact the road engineering policy says the surface road should have a better product. Adding the crumb rubber to the bitumen overcome with its inherent weaknesses.
I felt the urge to try to change something, especially multi-layered plastics can't be recycled. It's a huge burden on our environment.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's a recap of our main stories. High voltage campaigning is underway in India for the Lok Sabha polls. 93 constituencies go to the polls in the third phase on May 7. India lashes out at Pakistan over remarks at the UN, says that it harbors the most dubious track record on all aspects. Hamas's delegation to visit Egypt soon for further ceasefire talks. Hamas says that it's studying the peace proposal in a positive spirit. Well, a Hamas delegation is set to visit Egypt soon for further ceasefire talks in its conflict with Israel. Earlier, in fact, Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh had discussed the ongoing ceasefire talks in separate phone calls with Egypt's intelligence chief Abbas Kamel and Qatar's Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani. Top Israeli ministers met on Thursday, and according to the report, they discussed truce proposals and also the Rafah operation. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has said that he did not see any indication of Hamas planning any attack on American troops in Gaza, but he added that adequate measures were being put in place for the safety of military personnel.
I don't see any indications currently that there is an active intent to do that. Having said that, Phil, this is a combat zone, and a number of things can happen, a number of things will happen, and the safety and security of our troops is very important to me. Our allies are also providing security in that area as well. And so it's going to require that we continue to coordinate with them very closely to ensure that, if anything happens, that, our troops are protected.
Turkey has halted exports and imports to and from Israel. The Turkish Trade Ministry in a statement said that Turkey will strictly implement these new measures until the Israeli government allows an uninterrupted and sufficient flow of humanitarian aid to Gaza. Turkey last month imposed trade restrictions on Israel over what it said was Israel's refusal to allow Ankara to take part in aid airdrop operations for Gaza and its offensive on the enclave. The two countries had a trade volume of about $6.8 billion in 2023. The announcement came after Israel's Foreign Minister Katz has said that the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was breaking agreements by blocking ports from handling Israeli imports and exports. Israel Katz, who's the minister we're talking about, in a social media post said that he instructed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to work to create alternatives for trade with Turkey, focusing on local production and imports from other countries. Chaos and arrests continue across the United States' universities, where student-led protests for Palestinian, but they are pro-Palestinian protests, have been happening. The police and protesters faced off at the University of California at Los Angeles, hours after the police had dismantled a protest camp, which was attacked by counter-demonstrations. Over 200 protesters have been arrested at UCLA. At the Portland State University, police officers in riot gear arrested dozens of protesters who tried to retake a library which served as a protest encampment. Demonstrations have also spread to the University of Washington in Seattle. The protesters are demanding that the university cut ties with Israel. Several universities, including Columbia, have called police to quell the on-campus protests. And breaking his silence on the campus protests, the US President Joe Biden has said that that order must prevail, and that these demonstrations don't have, a right to create chaos.
We are not an authoritarian nation where we silence people or squash dissent. The American people are heard. In fact, peaceful protest is in the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is. It's against the law when violence occurs. In America, we respect the right and protect the right for them to express that. But it doesn't mean anything goes. It needs to be done without violence, without destruction, without hate, and within the law.
The United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary David Cameron promised over $3 billion of annual military aid for Ukraine for as long as it takes, as he met the country's President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kiev. Cameron's trip comes days after the UK announced the largest ever military aid package to Ukraine, and he said that the Ukraine has a right to use the weapons provided by London to strike targets inside Russia.
We are your strongest supporters, and as I said to your Foreign Minister, we come not just as friends, we come as partners. How can we work together over this year, militarily, diplomatically, politically, financially, to support you in all the ways that we can? I think the package we announced was important, not just because it was the biggest package of gifted weapons that we've done so far.
Zelensky thanked Cameron for the UK government's support, saying that it will provide a boost to Ukrainian troops.
Thanks for this package also, that it's been together with the Congress decision, and I think everything has influence. So thank you very much.
Russia has been shipping refined petroleum to North Korea in volumes that may violate the UN Security Council's restrictions. The disclosure came on the first day of the UN panel of experts monitoring enforcement of the long-standing UN sanctions against North Korea, and those were disbanded after a Russian veto. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
Under sanctions by the UN, North Korea is limited to importing around 500,000 barrels of refined products a year. But the US believes that Russia has been quietly shipping refined petroleum to North Korea. And in fact, in March, the US says that Russia sent around 165,000 barrels of refined petroleum to North Korea, and they believe that this could continue. That means the US is now thinking about imposing fresh sanctions.
The United States will continue to impose sanctions against those working to facilitate arms and refined petroleum transfers between Russia and the DPRK. We are currently working with our partners, including Australia, the European Union, Japan, New Zealand, the Republic of Korea, and the United Kingdom to announce new coordinated sanctions designations this month.
Now, North Korea is one of the few countries that have expressed support for Russia in its war against Ukraine. The US has also accused North Korea of transferring weapons to Russia in its war against Ukraine, which started in 2022. Now, we have seen a deepening of these two countries growing ever closer, especially since that meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in September last year. After that meeting, the two countries pledged to grow closer together and to cooperate when it comes to military relations. But both have denied accusations that they struck up an arms deal. In Hong Kong, Laura Westbrook reporting for DD India.
A flare-up between China and the Philippines refuses to die down after Beijing's use of water cannons against the Filipino vessels at a disputed shoal in South China Sea. Now, the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has criticized it, saying that it was an irresponsible act, irresponsible behavior. It degrades international laws, what he said. Austin also said that he said this at a news conference. He said after meeting the leaders of Australia, Japan and the Philippines amid increasing concerns of Chinese military aggression in that region.
Filipino crews are put in danger, where sailors have been injured and property damage. That's irresponsible behavior, and it disregards international law. So, Phil, I won't get into any hypotheticals on what could happen and how it could happen. I would just say that you've heard me say, you've heard our president say a number of times that our commitment to the treaty is ironclad, and we stand with the Philippines.
Taiwan leveled accusations against Chinese military aircraft for yet another breach of sensitive Taiwan Strait, This happened on Friday, and this comes as the Chinese Navy conducted combat exercises in the region. 14 Chinese military planes crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait, approaching close enough, 76 kilometers to Keelung, a major naval base in northern Taiwan. The median line, it was once an unofficial boundary, is now frequently crossed by Chinese aircraft as it does not recognize this line's existence. In Pakistan's northern region, a bus plunged off a cliff early on Friday, resulting in the deaths of at least 20 passengers, while 21 were injured, and they were rescued and taken to a hospital. The bus was traveling from Rawalpindi to Punjab, to the mountainous Gilgit-Baltistan area, and local authorities have in fact started a rescue operation to evacuate and assist the other injured passengers. India slammed Pakistan as Islamabad's envoy tried to provoke Delhi. Speaking at the United Nations General Assembly, it was a session on culture and peace. The Indian envoy to the United Nations, Ruchira Kamboj, said that Pakistan harbors a most dubious track record on all aspects. Kamboj's statement comes after Pakistan's UN envoy Munir Akram made some remarks against India.
Choose to set aside the remarks from a certain delegation which not only lack decorum but also detract from our collective efforts due to their destructive and pernicious nature. We would strongly encourage that delegation to align with the essential principles of respect and diplomacy that must always guide our discussions. Or is that too much to ask of a country that harbors a most dubious track record on all aspects in itself?
The 7th Joint Defense Cooperation Committee meeting between India and Indonesia is being held in New Delhi. Both sides will exchange views on regional and global issues of shared interest. The Indonesian Secretary General, who is on a visit to India till May the 4th, will also have discussions with the Indian defense industries in New Delhi and Pune. The Defense Cooperation Agreement between the two countries was signed in 2001. It has now been diversified to include military-to-military exchanges, high-level visits, capacity building and training programs. The Delhi Metro is celebrating the 30th Foundation Day today, and since over the last 3 decades, in fact, it has become a lifeline for the people in the national capital. It was inaugurated in 2002, however, and the Delhi Metro has served millions of passengers over the last 22 years. Let's take a look at this report.
The lifeline of Delhi, The Delhi Metro has transformed how people commute in the national capital. Successfully running for the last 3 decades, the Delhi Metro over the years has spread over the city through its wide network, connecting almost every corner of not just Delhi, but also its satellite towns. The Delhi Metro started operations on 24th December 2002 between Shahadra and Tees Hazari in the northern part of the city for just about 8.4 kilometers. The operation, which began on the metro's Red Line some 22 years back, has spread its web of network across the city to over 390 kilometers now in the last 2 decades. Over the last many years, overcoming multiple challenges, today the Delhi Metro has 286 active stations in the New Delhi network alone. The metro has 12 active lines spread across even the satellite towns of Noida, Faridabad and Gurgaon, setting an example of green and energy-efficient connectivity not just in India but across the world. The Delhi Metro over the years also upgraded its technologies, making it one of the most advanced rapid transport systems in the country. Some 5 years back, the Delhi Metro also inaugurated its first ever driverless train, marking a massive technological achievement in the sector. From the Prime Minister of India to the President of India, all have travelled in the Delhi Metro, making it one of India's pride in the mass transit system. The Delhi Metro is called the lifeline of the capital's mass transit system because it serves lakhs of commuters every day, also helping in decluttering the Delhi roads and saving hours of time for people. Not just this, also saving lakhs of carbon dioxide being emitted into the atmosphere. It is one of the most secured public transport system in the country, manned by the CISF round the clock. It is also known for being the cleanest mass transport system in the country. The Delhi Metro is operated by the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation Limited or the DMRC. The foundation stone for the organization was laid down on 3rd May 1995 with the vision of setting up a safe, faster and green transport system for the national capital of India. The Delhi Metro has transformed how people travel in Delhi. The success of the Delhi Metro is making the model being replicated across the country now. Dibyendu Mondal's report for DD India.
So let's take a look at other stories making the news now. The Indian Army's Vice Chief visited various industries affiliated to the Ministry of Defense in Pune, and the visit included the Armament Research and Development Establishment, Larsen & Toubro Predictive Technology Laboratory, Ammunition Factory Khadki and Bharat Forge Limited. The Vice Chief interacted with various stakeholders and was updated on the recent initiatives and the infusion of modern technology in defense production. India's Jammu and Kashmir police said on Friday that they had arrested an overground worker during an investigation into last month's attack on a non-local cab driver in the Shopian district. The police has also recovered ammunition and cell phones. On April 9, a taxi driver, a resident of Delhi in fact, was fired upon in the he was apparently targeted by terrorists in Padpavan village in Shopian, injuring him critically. The Senior Communist Party of India leader Atul Kumar Anjan passed away on Friday morning after a prolonged battle with cancer. The veteran communist leader had been admitted to a private hospital for the past 1 month. Atul Anjan began his political career in 1977 when he was elected as president of the Lucknow University Students' Union. He was one of the most vocal and active communist leaders who also made a name for himself as a social activist. In a tumultuous turn of events, various regions across the globe find themselves grappling with an onslaught of floods, storms and volcanic eruptions, wreaking havoc, leaving devastation and despair in their wake. Brazil's southernmost state of Rio Grande do Sul, that's the name of the place, is facing one of the worst storms in recent years, prompting the state government to declare a state of public calamity. At least 21 people are missing and 5,257 have been displaced. as devastating floods continue to wreak havoc in Kenya. Around 100,000, I beg your pardon, not 100,000, just 100 tourists. They were airlifted from disaster points and rescued, and they were stranded since the flood had hit on April 29. Heavy rain, in fact, has lashed also the United Arab Emirates, leading to flooding of various areas, and the weather department has issued an orange alert on Thursday. The rain forced the closure of schools and many offices across the country. At least 13 flights were cancelled and 5 diverted.
You want to play? You want to jump?
So residents across India have been grappling with searing temperatures as the scorching heat wave has gripped many parts of India over the last 2 weeks. Till May 5, severe heat wave conditions have been predicted by the India Meteorological Department over the Gangetic West Bengal, coastal Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Karnataka, Gujarat and parts of Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. The weather department has also forecast light rains in Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Chandigarh, Delhi, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh over the following few days. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Bayer Leverkusen record unbeaten march continues with a 2-0 win at Roma in the first leg of the Europa League semi-finals. Defending champion Arina Sabalenka will take on the top seed Iga Swiatek in the women's singles final at the Madrid Open.
E-waste is growing phenomenally in India, and I think it's time that we reconsidered our consumption patterns.
We need to formalize repairs, we need to formalize refurbishments, and by law also they are permitted.
It expands their repair network. The consumer gets benefit because it's cheaper and it's accessible, and the guy is able to make a living.
Government policies and in fact the road engineering policy says the surface road should have a better product. Adding the crumb rubber to the bitumen overcome with its inherent weaknesses.
I felt the urge to try to change something, especially multi-layered plastics can't be recycled. It's a huge burden on our environment.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Asian stocks reached their peak in over a year on Friday, while the yen rebounded as its recent 34-year lows in a week marked by suspected intervention by the Japanese authorities. The yen strengthened by 0.43% to $153 on Friday after hitting a 34-year low of 160 earlier this week. The MSCI's Asia Pacific Index, excluding Japan, surged to 550, its highest level since February 2023. Hong Kong's Hang Seng increased by 1%, marking its 9th consecutive day of gains. European markets are poised for a positive opening, with the Euro Stoxx 50 futures, that's up 0.25%, German DAX futures 0.24% up, and the FTSE futures is up 0.15%. The Indian benchmark indices clocked solid gains. Opening trade we're talking about on Friday, both the Sensex and the Nifty, hitting all-time highs again. And during the afternoon trade, however, the BSE Sensex was down 947 points at 73,663. The Nifty was down 241 points at 24,406. So a lot of profit booking that's taken place. Except for metal, all other sectoral indices are trading in the red, with auto, bank, IT, telecom, realty, media down 1% each. India's mineral output rose 8% in February as compared to the year-ago period. India's Ministry of Mines said on Thursday that the index of mineral production of mining for the month of February was at 139.6, and that is 8% higher as compared to the level in the month of February. As per the provisional statistics of the Indian Bureau of Mines, the cumulative growth for the period April to February 2023-24 of the corresponding period of the previous year is 8.2%. The minerals that showed positive growth include gold, copper, bauxite, chromite, phosphorite, limestone and coal. Let's get you the sports news. And the Indian men, the shuttlers we're talking about, suffered a quarter-final exit at the Thomas Cup in Chengdu city of China on Thursday. India's Thomas Cup title defence came to an end in the quarter-finals after a 3-1 defeat to the host China. Lakshya Sen recorded the only win for India. He came back from a game down to win the second singles rubber, but the tie began with HS Prannoy clashing with the world number 2 Shi Yu-ki. And despite taking the first game, Prannoy lost 15-21, 21-11, 21-14. Tough opponents there for the Indians. Sunrisers Hyderabad clinched a thrilling 1-run victory over Rajasthan Royals in the 50th match of the IPL on Thursday, chasing the target of 201 Rian Parag and Yashasvi Jaiswal. They played exceptional innings after losing Joss Butler and Sanju Samson in the first over. However, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar inflicted a last ball heartbreak on Rajasthan to make it a thrilling 1-run win. Meanwhile, Mumbai Indians will take on Kolkata Knight Riders in the 51st match of the season. Mumbai sit on the 9th position in the standings, while Kolkata, with 6 wins in 9 games, will move closer to the playoffs with 2 points in Mumbai. The top seed Iga Swiatek made light work of Madison Keys to book a place in the finals of the Madrid Open on Thursday. Swiatek beat the American 6-1, 6-3 in 70 minutes in the semi-finals. The 22-year-old Pole dominated from the start and wrapped up in the match in an hour and a half against the 18th seed. She is now the youngest player to reach 10 WTA level finals on clay since Switzerland's Martina Hingis in 2000. Meanwhile, in the other semi-final, the defending champion Aryna Sabalenka rallied from a set down to edge the 4th seed out, Elena Rybakina, Elena Rybakina in the semi-finals, and set up a match. Now it's a rematch of last year's final with Iga Swiatek. The freshly crowned first-time Bundesliga champion Bayer Leverkusen has extended its unbeaten streak to 47 matches across all competitions with a 2-0 win at Roma in the first leg of the Europa League semi-finals on Thursday. Florian Wirtz calmly slotted the first goal with an assist from Alex Grimaldo. Meanwhile, the midfielder Robert Andrich added another goal for Leverkusen in the 73rd with a long-range shot. In the other semi-final, Atalanta drew 1-1 at Marseille. The second legs of the semi-finals will be held next Thursday. Showcasing a wonderful amalgamation of art and technology, Vietnam's first digital art hub, Song Lab, serves as a catalyst for bringing art, culture and heritage together with technology, resonating with the vibrancy of younger generation. The hub provides a platform for innovative artistic endeavors. That's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news from across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan that QR code on your screen and you can get the app. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.